happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. I know y'all could probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, definitely gonna want to see this one, as we got Donald Trump coming out with brand new evidence as to why CBS should also lose their license for what they did during that 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, Bill Whitaker. Guys, I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. Just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, y'all, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's hop straight into it, y'all. Check this out.
Thank you very much.
I've spoken out about the unethical editing of the Kamala Harris interview by 60 Minutes.
Terrible.
But you go a step further and you say CBS should lose its license. Why?
Sure. Well, I've never seen anything like it. She gave a horrible, incompetent answer on a news program. It's not an entertainment program. They call it news. They say it's a #1 news program. And so she gives an answer that shows that she's dumb or incompetent or something wrong with her. It's so bad that the people at CBS say, we're not going to do a little editing, like the word "the," make it there, something. You understand? They take the whole ridiculous answer out, and it was a long answer, and replace it with a much shorter answer that she did, having to do with a totally different subject, which also didn't make sense, but it wasn't as incompetent.
The head of
they
the
don't
FCC,
do that
though,
with me.
But the head of the FCC says we would
Trump making a very valid point, whereas on the flip side, think about when he walks into these interviews, they're not placating, they're definitely not softballing, and I can guarantee you they're not editing out, when he goofs up or makes a mistake. That will be highly publicized. I'm not sure why they're allowed to do different with Kamala Harris, guys. Trump's got a point.
As incompetent.
The head of the
they don't
FCC,
do that
though,
with me.
But the head of the FCC says we would never yank a license because a politician didn't like his or her coverage.
Well, this isn't a politician. This is nothing. Wait a minute. She gave an answer. They took the answer.
I said I've been critical of it.
Listen to this. They took, just for your audience, you know about it.
All right.
They took the answer out in its entirety, and they put a completely different answer in that makes her look like she's normal, okay, which is about the best you're going to do. And I said, I think it's the worst thing she's done. Now, what we're doing is we're going to subpoena their records because we want to see how much else did she do. And I can tell you, I've done 60 Minutes many times, and they do with me different. They take sentences out. In other words, I'm more honored by that. But I'll have a paragraph that is a great paragraph, and they'll make it less good by just taking things out. But that's different. That you can sort of say they want to make the program shorter. They always say, well, we want to shorten it up. They take a great paragraph and, they make it okay. But with her, I never knew anyone would do this. They took the whole thing out and they put a whole new thing in. I've never seen anything. I think it's the biggest scandal I've ever seen for a broadcaster. And
Definitely is a huge scandal, and I'm not sure why the FCC is saying that they would never pull a network's license over something from a political standpoint. And I just don't feel like this is all politics. I feel like they're actually pushing. They beefed up. They took out a huge section of her interview and injected a whole different narrative, a whole different topic.
I think it's the biggest scandal I've ever seen for a broadcaster. In 60 Minutes. No, I think 60 Minutes, I think it should be taken off the air, frankly.
You posted this.
And by the way, 60 Minutes, they also, when I had an argument with Leslie Stone, now very famous, about the laptop, she said it was Russia, but I never got an apology.
You posted the following. Kamala should be investigated and forced off the campaign, and Joe Biden allowed to take back his rightful place. Investigated for what?
Well, it depends what you're talking about. Are you talking about 60 Minutes?
No, these are your words, so I'm asking you.
Let me tell you. They should look into it. Investigate. I'm investigated all the time. I'm the most investigated human being in history. They should investigate her. Look, on 60 Minutes, they say it was her campaign that forced them to do that. So certainly that should be investigated.
It sounds like you missed Joe Biden.
And if they're doing it right now, Donald Trump is right to be seeking out that subpoena for their records, because they're definitely doing it elsewhere. We're just not noticing it, but they're definitely swapping out, bad takes, bad statements coming from the Harris campaign and forcing these networks to put something that makes her look a bit more favorable in the viewer's eyes. I mean, this is absolutely groundbreaking information right here.
It was her campaign that forced them to do that. So certainly that should be investigated.
It sounds like you missed Joe Biden.
No, I think Joe Biden I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. And I think he might have done better than her. I mean, if you take a look at the polls now, I mean, I can't tell you exactly, but it looks like I'm winning and winning pretty easily, but we'll see. You have to get out the vote. But no, I think what they did to Joe Biden was a threat to democracy, to use their term. He had 14 million votes. They went into his office. He had a debate with me. He didn't do well. His poll numbers went down. And that's okay. That can happen. And they went in and they said, you're not running anymore. We're taking it away from you. They took away the presidency of the United States. I don't even like using the word coup, because a lot of people don't exactly understand what a coup is. They took away.
But nobody
they told
ran against the vice president.
Excuse me. They took away the presidency and they handed it to her. Well, nobody ran because the whole establishment did it. It did it as a whole. The Democrat Party did. When you saw that, you've never seen anything like that. He won she was in the primary. She was one of like 22 people. There were a lot of people.
Last time, yeah.
She was the first one to get out because she did so badly. All of a sudden, she's running. So I'm not saying from my standpoint. I'm saying from his standpoint. He's a very angry man. In fact, I think he probably likes me more than he likes her, but he's a very angry man right now.
Let me ask you about Joe Scarborough, because on Bill Maher's show, he said his people, meaning your people, have said they're going to arrest my producers.
Oh, nobody said that. Look, Joe's a sick puppy. I know him well. I used him beautifully. I dropped him because I thought he was very unethical, actually. But I dropped him. But I used him for 2016, and I do it from my apartment. I wouldn't even have to go in. I'd do phone calls, and I did them almost sometimes on a daily basis.
Why do you say that?
And then everyone's because I watch him and what he says about me. What he says is so bad. And you have to understand, no, I was friendly with him and with Mika, but at a certain point, and it doesn't matter why, but I didn't want to do it anymore with them. And they're not too happy about it. No, but he says a lot of things like that. I think they're unethical, but who knows?
I want to drill down on this question of retribution because against your political opponents, because you've had opportunities to walk that back. And my question is this: are you prepared to say now that you will not use law enforcement to punish or prosecute your political opponents?
Excuse me. That's what they're using on me.
Okay, so
That's a very great correction of that whole question right there. You're like, hold on, wait. This is what's happening to me right now. Let's not turn this into what I could potentially do. It's literally happening to me right now. Let's speak on that. I mean, that's a very valid point Donald Trump is bringing up. We've seen, the political persecutions, the legal lawfare coming from those rogue agents on the left. We need to be asking them the question, will they further this political lawfare if they were to take office? That's the question that I feel like we should be asking
your political opponents.
Excuse me. That's what they're using on me.
Okay, so your stance is that they started it.
Before you start this.
Yeah, I got it.
Howie, that's what they're using on me. I've got DAs. I've got everybody. They look at me. There's never been anything like this. The biggest case was the one down in Florida, and I beat it 100%. I won the case because we had number one, a brilliant judge, and a judge that moved rather rapidly, and I won the case. By the way, Biden had almost the same case, but he didn't have the Presidential Records Act because he wasn't the president, just to finish. And he got off on the basis that he's incompetent, essentially that he's incompetent. And it was a strange ruling because they said, number one, he's incompetent, so he's not going to be good. But the prosecutor actually said he's guilty, but he's incompetent. But they didn't say he couldn't be president anymore. That was his bigger problem for not being president. How can you not represent yourself in court because you're incompetent, but you're allowed to represent the United States of America? The whole thing is crazy. But no, they have weaponized government against me.
But are you willing to use the same tactics?
No, I don't want to do
using it as
that
a
because that's a bad thing for the country. I don't want to do that. I don't know who said. I haven't said that I would, but they have done it.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Donald Trump speaking out a bit. I love when he does these sit-down interviews. We can really get a little bit more interpersonal with how he truly feels about where he's at in this race and, you know, all the outside influences, what's been going on, you know, rather that be his opponent showing up on 60 Minutes, CBS's network, and they absolutely just fluffed her up, you know, taking out vital pieces where she seemed to be failing and putting in things that boast her up, making her look like a grand candidate once again. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. And then that, between that and the lawfare that he's been going through, and now they're trying to push the narrative to say that it's going to be him. You know, he's going to be one with all these political persecutions on his political opponents. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Donald Trump happened to remind everyone that he's the one who's been going through this since the day that he announced that he's going to be running for presidency. You know, if he had not announced that he was running for presidency, none of these, you know, sham charade cases that we've seen brought about by these rogue agents, district attorneys, attorneys generals, you know, we've seen them all. Special counsel Jack Smith, supposed special counsel Jack Smith. I mean, and Donald Trump has beat every test with flying colors. I mean, this guy has just done it all. And that's why he's got the support of the American people behind him. Guys, definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.